The rand has been holding steady so far today, with investors waiting scheduled reviews of South Africa's sovereign credit ratings by S&P Global and Moody's later today. Greg Katzenellenbogen, director at Sanlam Private Wealth, is with us today to talk about the look of the markets this Friday. Greg, welcome to Daytime Update. Let's pick it up. Excuse me, I'm just struggling to find my words today. Pardon me. Let's begin with an overview of how the local bourse and currency are doing.
Well, the currency is stronger this morning on a weaker dollar, and European currency, the euro, much stronger. That is, there's a risk-on attitude at the moment, and the market is up about 0.8%, driven mainly by the heavyweights, BHP, Anglo, Sasol. Naspers and Process are down a little, but yeah, we're having a decent market, and European markets are up across the board, and the US futures are up, so hopefully this will continue and the US market will open up.
And I mentioned, just coming into our conversation, the wait now in the next few hours to hear from S&P Global and Moody's. Investors want to see what the agencies will say about our sovereign ratings. Are we likely to see any major decisions this round?
I don't think so. I think that everything will remain on hold as where we are. Rating will be as whole as it is at the moment. I think it's still too early for an upgrade, and the ratings agency are likely to leave things as they are, but it's the comments that will be interesting to whether they see that South Africa's on the right trajectory or not.
And how much of that do you think will be influenced? I mean, you look at South Africa, but when you consider how much we've been influenced by the global picture, will that factor a great deal?
I think definitely it must. As you know, as the dollar has been strong, the emerging markets have suffered, and it's not only us, it's around the world. The cost of living increase, the rise in inflation hasn't only been rising in America, it's been rising across the world. You see the inflation problem that the UK has, Europe has, the rest of the world. So that is a problem. I think that must be taken into account. But certainly if you can, hopefully that China now looking to stimulate their economy, and if we are seeing a peak in the US dollar, that will be good for emerging markets generally, so we'll take some pressure off. But I would imagine the rating agencies would take that into account, that there have been some things that have been unavoidable, and we've been victim of the weaker global economy.
And talk about company news. BHP has submitted a proposal to acquire. They want 100% of Oz Minerals Limited. Tell us more about that offer.
So that is about a $6 billion offer for that will give them increase their COP. So BHP at the moment, about 54% of their income comes from iron ore, and about 26% from copper. And copper is one of the so-called future-facing metals that will be required for the transition to renewable energy as well as for electric vehicles. So BHP are making a big move to move into the copper market, and also the other metal, this company, Oz Minerals, that they're buying has got some operations in Brazil, and as well as got some nickel operations in Australia. So I think it's a very good deal for BHP. They originally made an offer about 25 Aussie dollars, and that was rejected, and they've come with a final offer of 28, which the board has accepted. So I think this will be good. They feel that iron ore, which is their biggest revenue generator, is going to plateau over the next few years, and as the world moves away from fossil fuels, they are positioning themselves extremely well into what they, as I mentioned, these future-facing metals.
Also interesting to see the Competition Tribunal now affirming a 1.38 million rand penalty. That's against Corpcom Outdoor for price fixing. Let's go back a few steps and look at what the company did and how we got to this sanction.
Well, there were a number of media companies. They got together, and essentially as a group they were offering advertising agencies discounts for placing business with them. But for the members of this particular group, they were offering a 16.5% discount to advertisers. Well, if you weren't part of the group, they were offering you a 15% discount. So essentially they were freezing out and they were pegging these prices. So the free market wasn't able to, price a higher discount if a particular media house wanted to do that. So they colluded, and now they've paid this penalty, 1.3 million. Plus they've agreed to give 500,000 to the National Economic Fund, which will help small black-owned advertising agencies.
Greg, so good to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time today.